This is nice and busy. How was breakfast? I hear the Hano chocolate are like the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have we all had enough breakfast? Is there any left? I think we should bring food in if there is any left, or at least save it for the break time. We don't want to waste food. That's not bad for that's not great for the environment, is it? Okay. So good morning. Welcome to Nottingham. Welcome to Marketed Live. A really fantastic welcome to those of you who are new to Marketed Live. Welcome to the family, and welcome back to those people who've been here before. It means so much to me personally and to all of the team to see people come back again and again. So it's obviously all right at the very least. And hopefully more of you will come back next year as well. Not quite sure how we're going to fit people in, but we'll worry about that at the time. Okay, so we've got a few things to talk about first of all before we introduce our fantastic speakers. And I'm not one for housekeeping rules because frankly, if there's a fire, I'm first out. So you can work it all out. But there's plenty of time today for breaks and networking. So do make sure that you take the time today to talk to the people on your table, that you find ways to collaborate. Maybe do a little bit of business with each other. That's what it's all about. Now, what shall I tell you about? Okay, so let's start off with people in red t-shirts, right? So the Marketing Live team, if you're about, can you stand up and give people a wave? Maybe they're outside sorting out the lanyard. Anyone in a red t-shirt is here to help you, right? So anything that you need, go and talk to somebody in a red t-shirt. Now, if you chose to wear a red t-shirt today, that was a really poor life choice. Never mind. So, what is Marketed Live about? Well, Marketed Live is an event about marketing, and it's primarily focused on education. We want this day to inspire you to improve the marketing that you do. You're going to hear from fantastic speakers who are experts in their field, that have done it all, and they're going to bring some inspiration to you. I want you to think about it and to challenge their ideas. They are around in the room, there's no separate area. Go and challenge them and ask them questions and all the rest of it. Now, a couple of things that are quite important. Firstly, those of you who were here last year will remember that this room is not great for connectivity to the internet. If you just take a look at your surroundings, you are in a concrete box, right? So in the event of a no-deal Brexit, come here. With food, yeah, preferably with food. So, look, we asked people last year, do you know what happened to you when you couldn't get on the internet? Was it really that much of a problem? And actually, what you said was that when you thought about it, you actually paid more attention to the speakers in the room. And actually, then, that is what I would like to see. You should pay attention to the speakers in this room because they're going to give you some great value. But we have got all breaks and lunch taking place in the cafe out there. So connectivity is good there. So we don't need any Wi-Fi, but if you do manage to get on there, it would be great if you share it. And we have one hashtag, Marketed Live, dead simple, no years or anything like that. If you want to return to get on the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is guest with a password of guest. I'm looking at Richard Tuck thinking data security, not really a great password there, is it? But that's the Wi-Fi if you do want to get on it, all right? Now, if you can get on Instagram stories, we have some branded gift stickers, which you can use for all the speakers or to tell people about it. We would like to share it if you can, but I'm not that bothered if you can't. So do play around with those if you get a chance. Now, last year, I was here and I gave you some facts and figures from some research that we did with people in the room, and I said that I would write up the questions and all the responses into a better report, and that's what I've done. So if you haven't downloaded this already, then when you get a chance, go to marketing.live/2019 and you can download the Marketing Live 2019 marketing report, because it's got information in there that you guys contributed to. It's also got additional contributions in there from such greats as Brian Solis and Seth Godin, who's like now my BFF. Anyone know Seth Godin? Yeah, anyone know him like I do now? Always email people that inspire you. You may never know what comes of it, right? Seth Godin responded within an hour of me emailing him with his contribution. So go and download that report and see what it said. The research was so valuable and the insight was so fantastic that we decided to do it again. So a couple of months ago, I sent an email out to our audience, that's people in the room here, people who have been to previous events and our email list, and we did with a series of similar questions really. We wanted to find out whether anything had changed in the last 12 months from this time last year to today. How are you feeling about certain things? Which brands did you think were really killing it right now? And unsurprisingly, the results were really interesting. So one of the things that we asked quite a lot was, how do you feel about certain topics compared to this time last year? I wanted to find out what's the temperature like of the room. And I want to start with looking at social media. Because last year, when we asked, how do you feel about social media, there was a wide variety of responses, ranging from the super positive to not feeling so great about it. And a lot of that variation was to do with the role that someone was in. So people who tended to focus on social media management as a day-to-day job, they felt very positive about social media, not so much others. However, this year, 12 months on, when we asked the question to say, how do you feel, how do you trust social media compared to last year, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is super positive and 1 is not feeling so positive these days, you can see here that the score of 3.88 suggests that people's trust in these social media platforms is not as it was. And I wonder whether that's because people aren't getting the results that they want now with social media. Perhaps it's a bit harder. Well, that's not what you say, because when we asked which marketing channel do you feel most contributes towards awareness building, you said social media. By a country mile, really, 71% of people said that social media was the channel for awareness building. So it's not that it's not working. It must be then to do with the technology companies behind it. Perhaps we feel like we don't trust them. We're a bit more attuned to what data they have, what they're recording, what they're using it for, and maybe even how they're using it against us, perhaps. What about digital technology as a whole? When we asked about digital technology contributing to well-being, you can see that it's feeling less positive. Who here, just by a show of hands, is trying to use their mobile device less? Wow. Okay, so we're more conscious, aren't we, of what these devices may do to us, and perhaps they don't contribute to our well-being. And that poses us a problem, I think, as marketing people. Because if you think about how we're trying to get in front of people, if it is the mobile device that we're using to try and get in front of people, and people are using it less, that at least makes it more competitive to get into a smaller time frame, a smaller window. The same number of companies are still using the thing. And that's without even thinking about algorithms and whether or not these platforms are delivering our content. On a similar tack with smart speakers, what about this new technology, smart speaker? Who has a smart speaker in their home? A lot. Who has more than one? Show offs. What do we feel about smart speakers? I think this technology is still relatively new, and you can see here the results here sort of suggest that people are feeling, it's about the same, maybe we don't know. But I think what's interesting about smart speakers is how people are using them. So we say things like, Alexa, do this. Alexa, do that. Who here says please or thank you to their smart speaker? Anyone? Oh, I thought it was just my nan. Well, good for you. Good for you. Because I do wonder, how things like smart speakers and the way that we engage with these devices is forming how we communicate as human beings. You know, are we going to stop saying please and thank you because we don't need to? But what I do like about smart speakers is the fact that we are having human conversations with these devices. We're using our own language. We're starting conversations with these devices. What about email? Email gets quite a bad rep still, doesn't it? You know, we don't like email. Who likes email? You like receiving email? If they're good. Okay, if they're good. So there's a qualifier, right? But if you look here, as marketers, we are feeling more positive about email. Even though, from a personal perspective, we have far too much. Why is that? Is it because maybe email delivers results for us? Well, apparently it does, because when we asked which marketing channel do you feel most contributes towards sales, you said email. And when we asked which marketing channel do you feel most contributes towards ROI, you said email. And what is it that we as marketers are really trying to achieve? It's not really follower counts, audience reach, engagement ratios. Actually, what most businesses want when I talk to them is leads and sales. And we know that email can deliver it. So clearly we love email. Why do we love email so much? Well, I think email addresses some of the challenges that we as marketers are facing. When we ask you what those challenges are, just have a look at this word cloud and see which are the words that stand out in sort of, that are bigger, representing more people, suggesting them. So, lack of trust, authenticity, personalisation, honesty. These are barriers that we have to try and overcome when we're marketing to our potential customers and clients. But what's interesting is that all of those things are about communicating with people. And what is marketing if it's not just another way to communicate with other people? Whether it's social media, the telephone, that's a hamburger phone, that's because I had one, a letter, or even a group meeting face-to-face. They're all ways of starting a conversation with people, and that's what we should be doing. We need to think about how we can have greater impact with these conversations that we're having. And when we asked you, how do we do that? Fortunately, this is what I like about research, you have the answers. So if you look at the things here, look at the sentiment of the things that are coming out in terms of what is the greatest impact. So collaborative, personal, honest, vulnerable. I love that one. Someone's been reading a bit of Brené Brown. But I think that's really interesting, the word vulnerable, because how can we, as a business, convey vulnerability to a customer? I think that's a really interesting concept. So, these things are all about going deep, and I want to know how we can go deeper with our marketing. How can we connect with people better? And my thinking on this is formed by these 3 books. Now, they're not marketing books. I do refer to them a little bit. One of them, the book on the left, the author is here today and is going to speak to you this morning. The middle book, by Brian Solis, I've got a number of copies which he sent to us today to give out to people. So I don't know how that's going to happen yet, but basically we'll find a way. Anyone who's interested in reading Life Scale, I've got copies which we can give you. And Deep Work, I'm sure many of you have actually read Deep Work by Cal Newport. But all of these 3 books have helped me form a view on how we do this. And it's less about community and more about going through the one-to-one, less about tribe. Now, I'm sure we've all been trying to build our tribe, our community, our audience and so on. And that's absolutely right that we try and do that. But sometimes I think the way that we try and communicate with that tribe has a little bit of a mismatch. So things that I hear, which I think are classic mismatches, are, when you look at an Instagram story and someone goes, "Hey guys," Well, hey everyone, or they, on a podcast. I've heard that on a podcast. Hey everyone, it's not radio. But when did you ever see groups of people crowd around a mobile phone watching an Instagram story together? I haven't seen that. And so we're using language that doesn't quite match the format that people are watching it on. And that's important. Here's an example. Anyone know this guy? Come on, you do? Right. Justin Bieber is looking a bit young there. This is before the tattoos, the alcohol and drug problems, But what are his tribe called? Believers. Don't make out like you don't know, don't you? Yeah? His tribe are called the Believers, right? And if you're a believer, Debbie, and imagine that he sends a tweet to you and his 106 million followers, and it says, I love you. And you go, oh my God, that's me. Right? I'm feeling it now. He loves me, and 106 million other people. Imagine the same 3 words, I love you, sent as a direct message. What is the difference in the impact that action has? The words are the same, but the delivery mechanism is entirely different. The impact is insane, the difference in that impact between a public tweet and something that is very personal. All talks should have some kind of diagram. And this is my diagram that demonstrates the point I've just made. Right? The difference between talking about we and talking about you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't talk about we and talk about your tribe and your community. What I'm saying is there's an opportunity to actually go deeper with the conversation with individuals. A lot of what we do these days in terms of engaging our audience, in terms of interacting with people, is this stuff, reactions. We scroll past double tap on Instagram, or we give them a like, or curious on LinkedIn, or whatever it is now. Even on blogs, we can like something. But it's what someone I heard recently called drive-by engagement. It's quick, it's good sound effect, isn't it? It's a bit like getting off with someone at a conference after party. Right? Feels nice at the time, doesn't really mean anything tomorrow morning. Right? And that's kind of the problem with reactions, in my opinion. Now, Cal Newport, in his book, Deep Work, talks about how, we're all busy people these days. We've all got so many things to do. We've got emails to do, and people to see, and calls to make, and all this kind of stuff. And every time we reply to an email in our very busy inbox, we get a little dopamine hit that goes, yeah, we did that. Yeah, I'm so productive, I'm feeling really busy, and I can't do anything because I'm so damn busy. Right, but I've done all my work, I've tried to get to inbox 0, and that feels great. But actually, what he says is that it doesn't allow us to get anything done at a deeper level. It doesn't allow us to push the needle forward, to move our business or move what it is that we're trying to achieve. Because we're too busy doing whatever it is that we need to do on a transactional basis. And he says that busyness is a proxy for productivity. But I think that reactions are a proxy for relationships. So, here are 4 suggested ways to go deeper with our marketing. Just suggestions, you decide. The first one is to be selective. I don't think that you need to respond to absolutely everything that you see online. I don't think you need to respond to people on Twitter or Instagram. There will be times, of course, when you should. Someone's making a complaint, don't leave that one hanging. But how about looking at people who meet your target audience? People who meet the persona or avatar or whatever you want to call it, where they're more likely to actually buy. Why not nurture those? Be selective. And when you do be selective, then take the opportunity to find out more about them. Go and research. Go and find out what their business is doing. Go and look at what awards they've done. Congratulate them on that award. Go and read some of the content that they've written. Go and give an opinion on it back. Don't just say, yeah, that's great. Absolutely no canned response. I really hate seeing tweets that says, I'm sorry about that, please send us a direct message. Or please call this number with a little chevron and 2 initials that can mean anything. I just think it's lazy. First rule of customer service, if you want to do it well, is actually to acknowledge, to apologise, to explain what happens next. If people feel part of a process, they don't feel anything towards you. Take the time to craft individual responses. And finally, choose unscalable methods. Do the things that are going to have the greatest impact. So, Bonjoro are here today. Hello. Go and have a word with Bonjoro and look at how they are creating this fantastic application that allows us to send video replies to people. I don't know, maybe when someone buys a ticket to your event. Right? Honestly, since we've been using it, I know I said this last year, but since we've been using it, the difference that it's had, the impact that it's had on forming a relationship with the people. There's plenty of people here today that I've never met you before, but I would like to think that if you received that little Bonjoro, apart from thinking, blimey, what a dickhead, might feel excited about coming to the event. Okay, so 4 little suggested ways to go deep. But you know what? It's not just digital how we do all of this. It really isn't just about digital. And so reactions, how do we do that in the non-digital world? Well, we asked you, in the event of the internet going down, or maybe being in a concrete box, what would you do? How would you market your business? The results are very interesting. So, networking. Wow. Who goes networking? Do we get stuff from it? Of course we do. Of course we do. Networking, a perfectly valid way to market your business. Get on the phone. One for the millennials. No, absolutely. Get on the phone. It's there. We could talk to people. We could even meet face to face. Oh my God. I know, right? But what's really interesting is, of course, you know how to market a business without digital stuff. You know how to go deeper with your relationships already. This is not new, you know it. There were other suggestions. This was one of my favourites. This will look great on social later. So, we'll just put a little bit of context up there. You've done that good. My mum will be so proud. But of course, even this is quite a sociable activity. You can kind of get deep with someone, should that be the suggested mechanism that you go for. We do need to try and develop these relationships that we're having with our potential customers, our clients, our customers, whoever they are. We shouldn't just look for tactics and strategies to help us get there. I think we should also look deep inside ourselves and use our personal skills to go and forge these relationships. Because by doing so, we will go further, we will be able to deliver the ROI, we will be able to make leads, generate leads and make sales. All of these things are possible. We'll all do this later, right? Probably. But yeah, I just want you to remember all of that, because remember what we said at the beginning, we know already that if we're looking for sales and leads and ROI, we know really that it's about the relationships that we build that generate that. And that, my friends, is what you can take back to your senior leadership, to your board, to your clients, and demonstrate a real return on the efforts that you make. Thank you very much for listening to me.